What's going on, guys? This is Craig from Tech 360, and today we're going to tear apart this AR and clean her up. All right, guys, first and foremost, thank you for clicking on this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So this is my hog hunting AR. I take this thing pig hunting with me, and I had an incident this past weekend where it got caught in some wind and some stuff, and it got thrown all into the sand out in East Texas, which is all red dirt. So now I've got red dirt all inside this thing, and I need to get it all out because it's pretty nasty. So the first thing, naturally, you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that there's absolutely no rounds chambered. And if you can hear how nasty that sounds, because there's sand all in it. So at this point, now there's nothing in it, I'm going to go ahead and disassemble all this other stuff that doesn't need to be on here, and then we'll get to cleaning it. All right, so now that's all. I'm gonna leave the scopes and stuff on. I'm not gonna worry too much about that stuff, but I don't know if you can tell with the light, but you can just see just all the dirt. That's just all on the outside of this thing. It's all in this action. I don't know if you can tell, you can see in the video, but it's all in there, and it sounds horrible. It's just gross. It needs to be cleaned out. So let's slide that off the side. See, this sounds horrible. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pop these two pins right here. There's one here and there's one here. And that's gonna separate the upper from the lower. And then once you got those two pins pulled out, they'll stay put in place, and those two pieces come apart. Now, the lower, I'm gonna take and set aside for the time being. All right, so now that you got the uppers and stuff separated, now we're gonna pull all the pieces out. I'm gonna take that out, set those aside. For the time being, they really don't look that bad in there. So at this point, all I'm going to want to do is I picked up some Hoppe's Elite Gun Cleaner, and I'm going to just start spraying it down, man. Just getting this stuff moved and cleared out on the inside. And then once I have it like that, I just want to go in and start wiping and cleaning. And another thing, if you have them, is Q-tips. Q-tips will be your friend. Q-tips will get all down these little channels that are down in here, these little ridges, stuff like that. So we're going to clean this. I'm cleaning all these little different little areas down in here that I can't get to with a rag. I'm just going to kind of go over. I'm going to go over it all. And just wipe everything down as best you can. Like right now, while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down the outside and get all this, try to get as much of this red dirt and sand off of it. Still got some here, so let's go ahead and wipe all this off. After cleaning this all out, unless you put several thousand rounds, I would think, or several hundred rounds down this thing, I wouldn't think it would be necessary to clean this barrel, but I'm going to, just because of how much sand was in the air, and I want to make sure there's nothing that's hung up in there. So I'm not going to take anything aggressive. I'm just going to take a brush and then just kind of just run through there with it. All right, so the barrel really wasn't all that bad. It sounded worse than I thought. It looked a lot worse than I thought. Try to get one more go over, make sure there's nothing in it. Make sure the action looks pretty clean. Everything looks good back here. Everything looks good, so we'll set that up here. All right, so now we're gonna do the bolt. The bolt looks pretty dirty. It's pretty nasty. Got a lot of gunk in it. And honestly, I haven't really fired this thing that many rounds, but I'm not sure from who I bought it from how many rounds they fired. Now, when you go take this bolt apart, there's a little cotter pin on here on the side, and you have to take that cotter pin and just pull that little cotter pin out, and it just holds everything in place. And once you get that cotter pin out, the firing pin will come out. It still got some oil on it. That's good. I'm gonna set it aside. And now that that cotter pin is, or now that that firing pin is out, this piece right here, I want to show you guys. So you have to do this in order or it won't work, okay? So once you get that firing pin out, there's this little square piece right here, all right? It just moves back and forth. You have to take it and turn it to a 90 degree. I'll get it 90 degrees, and then it should slide right out, just like that. Then you'll set that aside, then all your and everything else will come out. And then basically you just go through and clean those one by one. So that's what we're gonna do. And this spray right here, I've never used it, but I've heard good things. And they say it's good for just breaking down the oils and carbon and stuff like that that's on your parts. And it looks like to be working pretty good. And it's a company called Hoppe's Elite gun cleaner. It seems to work pretty good. I'm in no way sponsored by them, but I just happened to pick some up the other day and just wanted to give it a try. So I've tried some other stuff that hadn't been all that great, but like I said, all we're gonna do here is we're gonna go through here and clean all these parts real good. All right, that's clean, so we're gonna set that here. Now we're gonna go to the pin, which that shouldn't be much. That's mostly just wiping it off. You definitely don't want to do any scrubbing or anything aggressive that may bend or damage. Set that aside. And let's go clean off all these little miscellaneous parts. Like that. And now for the bolt. And once again, these are where your Q-tips will come in handy at, cleaning all these little channels, all these little ridges. Get all this carbon out of the inside of these tubes here. So now, put a little bit more in here. Go and clean that. Ooh, look at that. Nasty. Like I said, I know me personally, I've probably put about 60 rounds through this thing, honestly, maybe so far, and I've had it about a year. Now the guy that owned it before me, I have no idea. I'm not sure how many rounds he put through it, but by the looks of it, looks like he put a few. This is a little dirty. So I'm just wipe all of it down one last time, and then we'll get started on the lower. All right, now all right, so now the bolts back together. I want to drop a little bit of oil in it. All right, so the bolt is all nice and clean. Now let's start with the other nasty, dusty parts of this. My first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the whole gun in general, around the frame and everything. Just wipe it off, get all the dirt off of it, sand, everything. You try to get the magazine port cleaned. general wipe down, so when you don't want to clean it and then all of a sudden have a bunch of dirt and sand and crap fall back all into it. So get that all cleaned up, clean my pins off, anything that may be stuck to it. All right, now I'm gonna wipe it back down. Anything, any residue. And now I'm just gonna drop a few drops of oil down in here on the Action spring hammer, all the trigger shenanigans, safety. Now I'm not dropping a lot because I don't want it, you don't want to put so much on there that it all starts, dripping out of the gun. I mean, because once you do that, you got too much in there. So I'm gonna wipe one more time, make sure Q-tip comes out clean. As long as it comes out clean, I'm happy. Now, one part we didn't clean was that, and this is pretty simple. You just take it and just grab it and wipe it down. And then if you want, you can take a Q-tip and run down in this channel if you want, but it's not a must. All right, now that we got the bolt and everything back together, we're gonna go ahead and start reassembling. So we're gonna start with this, and then we're going to this way, slide that sucker down, just like that. And you're gonna bring your lower, line these pins right here back up, slide that one in, slide that one in. Then let's go back over and do one more little final wipe down. Just some little extra residues I got all over everything. All right. Action looks clean. But all right, that's how you do it.